I think the real issue with plastics is the misconception that a lot of us have about what single-use plastics even are. The whole concept of a single-use plastic item is all the energy that is put into creating it. Its only real purpose is to be used for maybe a couple seconds and then it's just thrown away. But we don't really think about the decomposition of that item. Plastic is really made to last forever. Until we kind of change the mindset and just the habits that when we throw it away, it doesn't actually go away. We're not going to see any results.
It's really different from other materials in that it doesn't break down. It just becomes smaller and smaller and smaller until it gets into the environment and the chemicals in it and the possible carcinogens in it just leach into the environment and they stay there for millions and millions of years, basically just not ever going away.
So the way this entire campaign came about was one day we were all at club, the four of us, and we saw this ad by the American Chemistry Council that stated that we can't have a plate lunch without the styrofoam clamshell that it came in. And it's basically was trying to get people to see that styrofoam is an essential part of the plate lunch. So we all decided that that was kind of silly, really, because on the website there was a lot of misinformation. So in response to that, that's how this whole campaign started. We created a website that gave people more information, factual information, showing things like the impacts that styrofoam has on our environment, as well as price differences that show the difference between more eco-friendly alternatives to styrofoam.
Right now we're just on kind of the outreach stage. We're just going to local businesses, giving them our pamphlet, encouraging them to go to our website.
Today, when we went to the businesses, I think a lot of the businesses really liked our information and they took it.
It's just spreading the awareness that styrofoam and plastic isn't really good for the environment and that there are alternatives.
So personally for me, I think that youth are important in this plastic movement because a lot of people really listen to what you have to say. They consider listening to you and they consider making a change, and that's what's pretty much been happening in our campaign so far. I think 99% of the time we get them open and we get them to listen to what we have to say at least, and we get our message across to them.
Because of this project, we were invited to the Plastic Ocean Pollution Solutions Youth Summit in Dana Point, California. And basically what we did there is we presented our project to the other youth there, and they presented their projects to us.
We're also working on a separate project with not just eliminating the use of styrofoam, but eliminating the use of single-use plastics as well.
There were youth there from all over the world who are working on projects to reduce plastics in our oceans, and we got to ask them questions about their project, and we got feedback on our project.
So our project is basically having large-scale highway and beach cleanups, and then after that to have proper signage. So we're going to partner with a bunch of different huge organizations on the island to help us get the volume of people to come help us.
We're going to go to our local elementary school and collect styrofoam lunch trays for one day and then crush them into a giant globe and then use that as like an art piece to raise awareness with the kids. We're going to do like plastic pollution labs in the classroom and kind of talk to them about how they can make a change. And our long-term goal is to get paper lunch trays as an alternative instead of styrofoam. But for now, we just really want to raise awareness through art and make it fun for the kids and how they can have a simple impact on something so large.
So what we do, we collect bottles. So once there's a certain number, like 1,000 bottles, we take them to Human Needs Project in Kibera, which is in Nairobi. It's the biggest slum in Africa. They use the bottles by letting bacteria grow in them and eating up all the fecal matter on the sewage systems in the rivers to help clean water.
Well, our project is on marine microplastic and how it has the potential to absorb toxins from the water, like DDT or chloroform or anything you might find in there. And our main concern is that it could potentially start spiraling up the ecosystems through trophic levels. It's a big concern that it could enter freshwater ecosystems as well. Overall, it's something that we're really concerned with, and it's something that we hope that with our research we'd be able to bring a little bit more attention to.
Well, I think that the world's more going to listen to children when they tell the world that you shouldn't use plastic. And if you teach people when they're young, then they're not going to do it later when they're older.
Well, I think kids and young personalities and excitement is really important to any movement, and specifically plastic pollution, because a lot of us grew up at the beach and we're watching as our friends, like animals, get destroyed and are affected, and it's just really sad, and it's not fitting and it's not fair because it's us that's affecting them.
Well, I mean, we're the new generation. We're essentially cleaning up the mess that was left over by generations of single-use plastics and the mentality that as long as we don't see the pollution, it's not there anymore. So we are the next step in bringing this to a level of being able to maintain it. We are essentially the future.
Youth is the key to everything. If you want to get something done, you have to get the message through to the youth, because we're on social media, because we could share it, we could tell people about it, and then we have the drive and the energy and just the urge to want to go out and help make a change.
A lot of people don't realize that plastic even has a negative effect on the environment, or that it's really any different from anything else that we use in our day-to-day lives, because it's just everywhere. It's absolutely, everything is made of plastic, and it's nearly impossible to get away from using plastic in your life. Because it's just always around us, we don't really notice, and that's why the plastic movement is really more of an education movement. That's why it is so important to tell people about the negative effects of plastic, and to just encourage people to think about the number of times they use plastic, this harmful and everlasting material, in their lives, so that they just recognize and then are moved to do something about it.
And especially being on an island, you can see the effects immediately. You can go to most of the beaches here and you can see how they wash up on shore, and you can see all the damage that it does to our environment. So it's not something that you can suppress anymore. It's something that is now. It's something that you have to take care of.
So it's basically about supply and demand. If businesses know that their customers are wanting eco-friendly products or are pushing for things that are better for the environment, they're going to ultimately go that way and provide it. So as a customer, I wouldn't be afraid to suggest or ask businesses, hey, have you thought about switching? Do you use alternatives? And also, I wouldn't be afraid to give your appreciation to businesses who have, and kind of show that, kind of verify that what they're doing is good for the community, and just your appreciation is enough sometimes to really make a difference.
At our Pops Youth Summit, one of the presentations really hit me at heart, and one of the people said that we will protect what we love. And that really is true for what we're doing here, because we do live on an island where ocean surrounds us entirely, and everybody depends on the ocean, has fun in the ocean. A lot of the things that we do involves our environment in the ocean. So if we all come together as a community and fight for a common cause, I truly feel that we can make a difference both on our island and eventually elsewhere too.
The biggest thing I would take from this project is definitely to never give up. There are going to be people who are not going to agree with you, especially while doing a project like this. And I just think it's really important to never give up, because you have to stay true to your point in order to make a change in our world.